For my Capstone project, I intend to create a website that presents both AI-generated and human-created paintings in the form of an online exhibition. The audience will be asked to guess whether the image they're looking at is created by a human or an algorithm. Following a guess, the website reveals the painting's artist as well as the proportion of correct responses. I want to see if AI-generated artworks are indistinguishable from human-made counterparts when all other external contexts, such as information about the artist and gallery settings, are removed. This idea is analogous to Alan Turing's imitation game, which is commonly referred to as Turing test. My initial research question was, what makes artworks appear to be human-made or artificial? However, throughout the course of my research, I discovered that this question can be answered next semester once the actual project is completed. Hence, I took a step back and reframed my inquiry into a more theoretical framework. So now my research question is, how can you consider the Turing test in the domain of visual art instead of the conventional context? In terms of methodology, my research comprises a textual analysis and case study. I looked into papers from a wide range of fields, including cognitive science, computer science, and visual studies. In addition, for the case study, I examined preceding examples of Turing tests in relation to artistic creativity. So in the next slides, I'll go over these publications and cases in further detail. First, this paper on generalizing GAN is a computer science study of the Turing test relationship with GAN algorithms. This paper piques my curiosity because it's one of the few works to claim that GANs and the Turing test have significant similarities. Not only do the authors bring out their parallels, but they also point out the conceptual differences. Secondly, cognitive scientist Margaret Bowden published this paper in 2010. Bowden defines key notions for how to conduct the Turing test in the domain of computer-generated art, which will serve as the foundation for my project. And yet, since this paper is over 10 years old, the examples of computer artworks she presents are out of date and fundamentally distinct from the outcomes of the latest machine learning algorithms. So I believe it's appropriate to investigate the most recent AI-generated images under the lens of Bowden. Lastly, in 2015, Rebecca Chamberlain et al. Conducted a similar Turing test that required participants to label artworks as computer or human-made. And also, they have to justify their categorization and rate the artworks aesthetically on a 7-point scale. The authors conclude that individuals can discern computer-generated from man-made artworks. I believe this outcome is partially due to their selection of the images, because some of the human-made paintings they present were drawn by famous artists, for example, Henri Matisse. For the case study, the first example is a website called Both or Not, which functions as a Turing test for poetry. On the website, you're given a poem and have to guess whether it was authored by a human or a computer. What intrigues me is the leaderboard section, which lists the most human-like computer poems and most computer-like human poems. So some successful pieces in the database have fooled 75% of human readers. The other experiment is conceptually very similar to my proposal. Ahmed El-Gamal at Rutgers University trained the algorithm with using 80,000 images of artworks from Western Europe during the 15th and 20th centuries. Following that, the researchers surveyed 18 people presenting AI-generated pieces alongside a collection of abstract expressionist paintings and modern works that were on display at Art Basel 2016. Quite surprisingly, the participants gave the algorithm-generated images a higher rating than the human-created art shown at Basel. According to the report, these people felt more connected to it and found it more inspiring. To summarize my results, I discovered that various attempts have been made to examine artistic creativity from the Turing test point of view. Although they adapted a similar methodology, the results were substantially different. This discrepancy, I assume, stems from the image selection for both human-created and computer-generated works. That implies I should carefully think about which human artist's work I should use for my project. On a side note, I'm wary of the quantitative methodologies employed in these studies, such as rating artworks based on aesthetic value. It's questionable whether a high score on each of these scales represents anything, or whether the differences are statistically significant. Besides, one thing I learned from the Bot or Not project is that this experiment is more than just about whether or not machines can compose good poetry. Rather, it's about challenging our assumptions about what it means to be human. To put it another way, when you saw the poem as written by a human, what in the poem made us think it was written by a real person? So, as a result of this case study, I was able to clarify why my Turing test for paintings is important. If asked why, I say that my project will help us better understand not only computational creativity, but also an elusive notion of human creativity. And also, I was able to discover certain research limitations and room for improvement for my project next semester. Alright. In the future, I first need to create, collect, and curate images, both human and machine-made. I've already created more than 500 paintings using StyleGAN 2 and VQGAN. These algorithms are trained with WikiArt and ImageNet database, respectively. It's theoretically possible for me to generate image scans on my own and collect human-created artworks on the internet, such as National Gallery of Art's open database. Nonetheless, I believe that this project will give me a fantastic opportunity to communicate directly with contemporary artists. Because I'll conceive my project in the form of an online exhibition, I hope certain artists will be interested in showcasing their works on my website. I'll reach them out via email and also open calls in online art communities. Whether their works look human-made or not, I believe that the great diversity of paintings, like styles, genres, media, techniques, they would definitely enrich the Turing test experience as a whole. And also, of course, website design, web development is a crucial component. I'll work closely with my advisor to design a system that efficiently collects data from user interaction. So this sums up my blueprint for the next semester, and thanks for watching.